What is going on, guys? DBG here. In this video we are going to be doing another tier list, lads, and this is going to be ranking the best Galaxy Opals in NBA 2K20 MyTEAM. So if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. If this is the best place on YouTube for MyTEAM information, MyTEAM tips, and learning about the new cards in game. Also, lads, we're trying to 215,000 subscribers by 2K21. So again, if we could hit that, that would be absolutely insane. If we don't, we don't. We do, it'd be nuts. So anyway, we have got some of the best Galaxy Opals, and these are not the 80 best cards. I think I've got 80 of them. These are not the 80 best. The problem is that I didn't want to put too many of the same type of cards, as well as just the line is not very good cards. Like for example, I'm not sure if I have many if any, like 6 3-point cards. I don't think I do, because there's an awful lot of those cards, and I'm like, look, there's just no point using them. There just isn't. Like, unless their name is Dwayne Wade, there is no point using them. As well as that, we don't have any, we don't have like multiple of basically the same card. So for example, I have Jimmy Butler, Wiggins, Steve Smith. They're basically the same card. It's all personal preference. So we have a few cards that are like that, but not too many. Because again, there is, in terms of like cones, there might be like 15 cards that do the same thing, but just some slightly better than others. So we've kind of left as many as possible, left some of them away. But anyway, now we are going to get on to it. If you guys want to see my actual top 100 list, I made that a few days ago. But that included pink diamonds and a couple of diamonds. There was a lot of pink diamonds on that list, though, to be fair. So first we have got Dwayne Wade Galaxy Opal. So Dwayne Wade Opal. This card's pretty nice, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, this card is pretty nice. So the big thing with this card is, honestly, like, I had him low on my last list, but he was in the kind of 50s. Let's put him C. Like, yeah, in a competitive setting, I wouldn't really use him, but man, the more I use this card, I've been using the other Opal, in just random unlimited games, he can kill people. He can still torch people. Then we got Opal AD. I like the card, basically perfect stats-wise. So is D-Wade, actually. The whole thing with AD is just the goal. It's goal quick draw. I think it might be goal range extender as well. Either way, though, that is a bit of a problem. Then we got Opal Kareem, who I actually think I left off my list. What was it, my top 100 list? I put him D, and I'm going to explain why I'm going to put him in D now. He is good. There is just so many way better centers. There is, especially for cheap. Like, objectively, someone like Adino is better at everything than him, and is cheaper. So we got our first player down here in worthless tier. We've got Campus Legends Medal. Like, even though he does lock in for Karl Anthony Towns, he's still worthless. He is terrible. He's absolutely terrible, lads. And then our second worthless player, I'm telling you this right now, I only put Patrick Ewing on these lists so I can move in the bottom tier. He is one of the worst players I've ever used. He's straight up one of the worst players I've ever used. And make that 3 in a row in worthless tier. We got no A's, we got no S's, we got no A's, we got no F's. We got 1 the others, and we've got 3 in worthless tier. Duncan, I got it, he's got an Evo. He goes up to half quick draw with Evo. Doesn't mean he's not terrible. Does not mean he's not terrible. We got Josh Smith. I don't know. This is a close one. It's a close one between F and D. I'm gonna put him D. I'm gonna put him in D right now. Again, like, it's not that this is a bad card, it's just when we're ranking Galaxy Opals, there are an awful lot of great ones. Then we got James Harden. I hate this card. But if you want to put him in D, like, realistically, he is D. If you want to put him C because you really like the card, or maybe B, again, more power to you. He's a really good card. Stats-wise, I just don't like Harden, so he's going F tier. For now, he might go up. He might go up, but for now, he is F tier. Then we have got Glitch Shaq. C. The more I use this card, the more I hate this card. Like, there is nothing this card does better than Eddie Curry Opal. There isn't. So for that reason, he's going into C. He's just way more expensive than he should be as well. I'm not a fan of this Shaq card at all in this game. And we got Lonzo. Oh, he doesn't have good offense. He's F. Like, I think he's a similar thing to Harden, where, like, I like Lonzo more than I like Harden, but he's not better than Harden, so I can't justify putting him above D tier. Then we have got Thon Maker. Oh, this is a tough one. I'm not the biggest fan of Thon. Not gonna lie. And there's a reason why I get my top 100. I had him quite low. I really don't like this card. Oh, he's C. He's C. Same tier as Wade. Again, I would take Wade over him, but he's C. And we got LeBron. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of LeBron's SIGs. Well, sorry, SIGs are fantastic. I'm not the biggest fan of LeBron's tween. What am I talking about? Even though I am a fan of LeBron James tween, I'm not a fan of his layup package. That's what's keeping him off S tier. If this card had the same layup package as the other Galaxy Opal, he would be an S tier. But he doesn't. And we got Draymond. F. He can't play offense. He's similar standard to Lonzo, he's no better. We got Hito. This is a tough one again. Do I put him B or do I put him in C? Put him B for now. I really do like Hito though. I really do like Hito. And we got Kobe. D. He's alright. He's fine. Like, he's not as good, but he's just not as good as Wade. If you're gonna use the argument, quote unquote, oh, he's a GOAT card, there is not one thing he does better than Dwayne Wade, and Wade is basically a GOAT card as well. Then we got Hakeem. D. I think Kareem's better, so he's going D tier. And now we get another of the worthless players. We got another of the worthless. We have got worthless Devin Booker. Man, Melo does not look in. Like, I don't think Melo's good enough for... Melo might be moved up because these three are... Melo's like, okay. Like, if I put Melo on the floor, it's not like an automatic thought in my head that I'm going to lose the game. However, these other guys are hopeless. They're so hopeless. You got MPJ. D. I don't mind the card. I really don't, but he's D tier, I think. Then we got Mel Daniels. Not quite C, not quite D, but he's got an ultra long wingspan and good enough behind the back. I just don't like the card quite enough. I don't like him quite enough to put him there. Put him in C. Or put him in C, yeah. Then we have got Michael Jordan, A tier. Jordan is good. Don't get me wrong, Jordan's good. But I just don't think he's quite S. I think he's very good, but I do not think he's quite S tier. Then we've got Scottie Pippen. I'm so tempted to put him in the worthless tier for the reason that you need to lock in like at least a million MT worth of cards to get him. But at the same time, he's not good. He's not that bad. Like, he's similar level of Draymond, maybe a bit better, but similar level of Draymond. So it's not, I can't put him above, or I can't put him below F tier. But at the same time, he's got terrible SIGs, a terrible jump shot. Yeah, he's great on defense, but like, so is every single card in this game is good on defense. And we got Giannis. Giannis I'm gonna put Giannis in S. Again, I said it in my top 100 list, that between like 20 to like 7 before we start getting into the ultimate GOAT cards is literally interchangeable. I think I had Giannis at 8, but depending on the day, sometimes I like, sometimes I don't. But this Giannis is very, very good. He is very good. And we got Tracy McGrady glitched. T-Mac glitch is S. T-Mac's really good. Again, another card that you can argue is a top 5 card in this game. T-Mac is fantastic. SIGs are not the best, but in the half court he moves really well. His full court SIG's not the best. Then we got Dirk. Dirk, for me, will be in the worthless. And man, I like the cheese. But like, I'd Porzingis and Bobo exist. But I can't put him in worthless because he's a 7 foot tall 2 guard. Just because of the way position locks are and the fact that sometimes you come up against like a Wade at the 2 and you can just abuse him with Dirk. I can't quite put him worthless, but he's not good. He's not good at all. We got Paul George. Yeah, C. I don't mind him. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind this card at all. I don't think he's spectacular, but I don't think he's above C tier. Like, I take Hito over Paul George 1000% of the time. Then we get Glenn. Glenn's this tier as well. Although, if you want to make an argument that Glenn's higher, I don't think there's many arguments to be made that Glenn's a top 15 card in the game. I get it, his release is really good, but even though, in my opinion, release might be the most important thing for a player, it's not enough for me to keep him above. Give me Wade over Glenn. I don't know why. I prefer Wade to Glenn. The more I use Wade, the more I like him. The more I use Glenn, the more I realize that, yeah, he is just a slightly worse Thad Young, isn't he? But I give me Wade over Glenn, so I'm putting him in C. Bob Pettit, D. He's fine. He's fine. For me, he's just the worst AK. But, like, I don't think he's objectively better than, like, a Josh Smith or Michael Porter Jr. You got DeRozan. DeRozan's in A. He's just a worse T-Mac, basically. I'm going to put DeRozan right there in A. I think he's good. I do think he's good, but that extra height advantage that T-Mac has and the stat advantage means T-Mac's going in over. Maybe a Tatum, D. We have a lot of D tier players here. We only have one player in B. But, yeah, Tatum is on a similar tier to these guys right here. For me, I'd have Tatum 1 above, but I know a lot of people would have Tatum worthless or F, so I'm going to put him D. Then, we got Kareem. One of the most obvious inclusions in the top tier in this list. Kareem is absolutely elite, lads. And Magic Johnson, yeah, Magic's S. Magic's got absolutely everything except for his release. That's his only problem. If he had even a competent release, like, I don't mean like base 98 or 38. I mean like if he even had Josh Smith base, he'd be so much higher. And we got Rashard Lewis. I don't think he's terrible, but I don't like him at the same time. Like, I don't know whether I'm gonna put him F because I don't think he's as good as MPJ. I don't think he's as good as any of these cards. At the same time, I might move him up. Let me get Zion, D. He's not very good. He's just not. He's like, he can do the same job as Unseld does, but at a slightly higher rate. Like, he's fine. He's fine. He's also got terrible defense sticks. And we got Larry. Oh, do I put I'm gonna put Larry in A. I don't know why I was considering putting Larry in B. It's between A and S. I don't think he's quite S anymore, but he is an A tier player. And we got Jonathan Isaac. Oh, do I put Isaac in A tier? That is the thing. That is the question. I do really like Jonathan Isaac. This is a tough one. This is a really tough one. So, I'm going to put him in A for now, but I might move him down to B. Then we got KD. This is a no-brainer. This is an absolute no-brainer. KD's A. If you like his release, he's S. Because his between legs is great. His overall length is great. I just don't like his release, so I'm not putting him in S. You got Bill Russell. I get it. He can play offense. He can play defense, but he can't play enough offense that I'm putting him in F. I don't have Evo Opals here, by the way, so I don't have Walton. Or I don't have Ben Wallace, so give me Ben Wallace over. Give me Evo Ben Wallace or Bill Russell any day. And we got Jalen Rose. Non-Evo Jalen Rose C tier, but Jalen Rose Evo is going right up here in A tier. And if we're looking at best cards in A tier, nah, he's not as good as Larry, but we're KD. But he's right up there. He's good. He is really, really good. Don't get me wrong. We got Kawhi. Ooh, this is a tough one. I'm going to put him in S, but if you want to put him in A, I'm not going to complain. If you want to put Kawhi in A, I will not complain at all. At all. And we got Siakam. Siakam's A. Man, we've got nothing in B tier right now. I might have start moving these guys around. And we actually have our first B tier player in a while coming up next, but Siakam defense be fantastic. He can tween, he can shoot. He just doesn't bring enough on offense to go up into the top tier. And we got Embiid, B. Embiid's fine. Embiid is not only fine, he's really, really good. He is really good. He's way better than Shaq in my opinion, but when you see the centers that are in S tier and A tier, you can kind of see why, like, we don't have Embiid. We got so many centers in S tier, by the way. Or, yeah, we'll have so many in S tier. Then we've got Sean Marion. Sean Marion's worthless. Oh, you know what? He can play a lot of defense. Not even a bit. He plays a lot of defense, and his release is kind of fast. Oh, if I move Sean Marion up, I'm going to have to move Melo up, so I'm going to put Sean Marion to worthless, but I don't think he's that as bad as people say. He's not good. Do not get me wrong. Never use this card. Never, ever, ever use this card. There are so many better pink diamond options, but he's not absolutely awful. Then we've got Wilt Chamberlain GOAT. The more I use Wilt, the more I want to put him in A. I know I had him 7 on my top 100 list. The problem is that, in my opinion, there is like 5 centers better than him. There is. Or there are 5 centers. And the more I use a certain other guy that was below him in the top 100, the more I liked said player. So I don't want this S tier to only be centers. I'm putting him, he's like, so far he's top of A tier, and I might move him up to S. The only reason is, like, again, in my top 100 players, I realized after I made the video I had way too many centers. Like, literally, I have 6 of my top 7 were centers. So I can't really have just a bunch of centers up here in S tier. But I might move him up. He's fantastic. Then we got LeBron A. This LeBron is way better than this LeBron. The problem is that this LeBron can't play point guard. If this LeBron could play point guard, he'd be S. That's all I'm going to say. Then we got this Wade. Basically, the two Wades feel the exact same. You're not going to notice a difference. We got this Carmelo Anthony, who's slightly better. Yeah, I'm happy with keeping this one down worthless here, because this one is definitely better than the other one, but he's definitely not D tier. You can't put them in the same tier because they're not even in the same conversation. But then we got Steven Jackson. Again, as I have to reiterate it, I'm a fan of him in game, not a fan of anti-Semitism, but Steven Jackson is F. Would I take, in a random game, would I take Steven Jackson over Kobe? Maybe. Would I take him over Tatum? Maybe. But I'm probably the only person that thinks like that, so he's going F. But I also, it's 50-50 whether I take him over Scotty or whether I take him over Richard. So it is what it is. Then we got Jerry Lucas. F. Jerry Lucas is literally just worse Pink Diamond Thad Young. Like, does he deserve to be an F tier? You could definitely argue no. At the end of the day, though, this is my list, and also the fact is that there is a Pink Diamond that's 4K MT that's just better than him. Then we have got, let's say, Rudy right here. Rudy is going right up into S. It is completely subjective who you prefer, Rudy or Kawhi. In my opinion, they're two of the best of what they do. They're so similar, like almost the same SIGs. In my opinion, Rudy is a better release. Kawhi is a little bit better on defense, so it's close. It's a really close one. Then we got AK. AK is good, man. And AK is good. Do I put him? Oh, I like Siakam. But I was like, do I put him above Siakam? I'm going to put him in the same tier. I do really like AK, so he's going A tier. Then we got Larry Keenan. You know what? He does a job. I'll put him in D for now. No, he's not as good as Scotty. He's not as good as Scotty straight up, so I'm going to put him in F. As much as, like, I might end up moving Scotty up one. I don't like Scotty. I'm going to say this right now. I really don't like the card. But I'll move him up one because I know I'm one of the few people that, like, there's not many people that hate this Scotty card as much as I hate the Scotty card. Then we got Wiseman. A no-brainer for me, and it's S. I think, give me Wiseman over Wilt any day. For my playstyle, give me Wiseman over Wilt. No question about that. Then we got LaMelo. For my playstyle, the way I play, give me Melo over any other point guard in this game. Yeah, except for, unless you're playing a random unlimited game against a guy who's not good and you have like Wade at point guard. Other than that, give me LaMelo over anyone. LaMelo's insane. LaMelo's insane behind the back, insane tween, just insane at everything. So now we've got well under half to go, and we have not a lot of people in B. We got Steph Curry. You know what? Give me Steph Curry in D. Give me Steph Curry in D. I get he's a 6'3" point guard, but he's basically got the best tendencies in the game in every stat 99 with 99 strength. With every Hall of Fame badge as well. So I think he's a little bit too small, and he doesn't have Wade release. If he had something like Wade's release, you could put him in C. I think he's a little bit too small to put him above C. I definitely don't think he's better than Wade, but he is nowhere near as bad as some people say he is. Then we have got Gerald Wallace. C. I think he's in some ways he's better than Paul George, in other ways he's worse. But he's going into C right there. I think that's a fair spot for him. And next we have got Hakeem Olajuwon. So Hakeem, wherever Bill Russell is, he's the same tier. I think he's very, very similar to a Bill Russell. They both have very similar dribble moves. They both have similarly slow releases. So that's where he's going. Then we got PG Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom is going A. I really like Odom. Like, for me, the question is, what does Kevin Durant do that Lamar Odom doesn't? And it's nothing. It is nothing. Lamar Odom is better behind the back. And Odom's release, in my opinion, is better. With that super quick Aldridge base, I think he's really, really good. He's just a way better heater. I might have to switch around a few of these players though, if the B tier. Actually, speaking of B tier, no, he's not B tier. The Busher C. Okay, we might have to swap around this tier. Busher C, the Busher might even be lower, to be honest. Nah, I'll keep the Busher C. I'll keep the Busher C. Then we got Wiggins. Wiggins is the B tier player. Wiggins is better than Paul George. I really like Wiggins' release. In my opinion, Wiggins is better Jimmy Butler. Wiggins is a great card. Great defensive player, great sigs, great length, just really good at everything. And we got Ralph Sampson, another in the worthless tier. Man, that release is bad. That release is so bad, lads. It is so bad. I can't put him higher than worthless. It's terrible. He's like slightly better Patrick Ewing. Then we got Blake. Blake's one tier above Zion. Like, they're so similar, same sigs. Blake's just way bigger and a similar level shooter. These are very similar cards. Blake's just bigger. So Blake is going right here into C tier. Yeah, I think that's a fair position for him. Then we got Goat Shaq. Goat Shaq's in S. I don't think there's much of a question about that. Again, he's got that really nice behind the back. He can tween up and down the floor. The problem is that his release is still horrible like the Glitch Shaq, but he's just way better at everything else. Way better. And we got Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown C. I like him. I do like Jaylen Brown. But is he good enough to put above that tier? Probably not. Probably not. He's alright though, he's fine. And we got Kristaps Porzingis. I wish I could fill out this B tier, but he's going into A tier. He's going to A tier. Big fan of KP. Again, we might have to move a few of these guys down. But KP, in my opinion, for my playstyle, is just... He's the best two guard. He's the best primary position two guard in the game, in my opinion. His handle's good. His jumper is good. Everything's good about this card. Then we got Sigma. Sigma's going B. He's not going A. He's going B. Similar level to Joel Embiid. Sigma's a way better shooter than someone like a Shaq. Defensively is quite decent as well. And just overall a really underrated card. Card that I definitely think a lot more people should be talking about in terms of like the high tier centers. But I do think because he's throwback moments, he's a little more expensive than he should be, which is probably why. And we got Giannis. Giannis is in that conversation for the best card in the game with Kareem, and depending on how you use him, with Yao Ming as well. So Giannis, I don't even know why I'm saying, oh, there's a question, he's worse. Giannis is in S tier. Then we got Yao. Man, I've used Yao. I do not know the power of this card. I'm gonna say this right now. Like, I've watched people that know how to use Yao, and they literally just glitch to the basket and score every time. I'm telling you, I do not know how to do that. I apologize to you guys, but I do not know how to do that. But I understand fully. If you want to argue that Yao is the best card in this game, I'm not gonna argue otherwise. I've seen people drop 80 points in competitive games with him. If you want to argue that, I'm not gonna question you. For me, he isn't, but if you want to make that argument, more power to you. Then we have got Dino Raja. Dino, no question about it. Dino is S. I love this card so much. Dino's release. Man, I have never seen someone block as many post hooks as Dino. Have you guys ever seen Dino? Like with that wingspan, the amount of times he just jumps up and just grabs a post hook out of the air is nuts. For me, no brainer. Dino is S tier. That's a no brainer. Then we have got Eddie Curry. Eddie, as much as I want to put Eddie in S tier, I'm gonna have to put him in A. Unbelievable card. But the real question is with Wiseman and Eddie. Like, we've already got Kareem as a center, Dino as a center, Yao as a center. We've already got 5 centers in S tier. So for that reason, I really don't want to put a 6th center in there. And it's really between like Wiseman, Eddie, and Wilt. And in my opinion, I think I would still take Wiseman over them. It's a really close one. For me, it would be like Wiseman 1, Eddie 2, Wilt 3. Because even though like the more I use Eddie, the more I prefer him over Wilt. because I think he's the better. Like he's obviously better in offense, but his defense is actually really good. I don't think many people, like, it's hard to argue Yao out of the top tier. It's hard to argue Kareem out of it. Like, if you guys look at my top 100, I have a lot of these guys higher. I had Eddie Curry a bit lower, but the last few days I really have started to really like this card. I had Wilt at number 7, but the problem is that I had 5 centers above him, which are the 5 of them here. And I think I'm going to stick with just 5 centers in top tier. I don't want to put too many to one position in. Then we get Swaggy. Swaggy's D. He's not F, but his release. I really like his release, by the way. Sigs are not good though. Defensively, okay. Would I take him over a Kobe? Probably. But would I take him over a Glenn? That's a no. That's a no. Then we have Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish is, as far as wings go, like there's, like, do I put Reddish over Kristaps? Oh, that's a real tough one, because I might bring Kristaps up. Am I crazy? Am I crazy thinking of bringing Kristaps up to S? No. Kristaps down, Reddish up. Yeah, I'll keep it as is. These cards are similar though. And to be fair, Kevin Durant's in that argument as well. Then we got, oh man, this is another argument for S tier. Like, I get it. He's really expensive, really rare. But if this card was like part of, say, the fan favorite set, which was probably a possibility because everyone loved him, this card would be like, he'd be like a similar level to Reddish. He came out the day of my top 100 list, and I didn't know what he was like. Man, this is another really tough one. I'm gonna put him only because he can't play the 2 guard. If he could play the 2. If he was a small forward / 2 guard, I'd put him S. He's a small forward / power forward, and the small forward position, there's a lot of good ones, but you may as well not have a secondary position, because if you're not running with 2 giant centers, the small forward and the power forward, you're doing something wrong. Maybe Siakam, but he's better than Siakam. He's one of the top players in A tier. That's all I'm gonna say. He's one of the top players in A tier. Then we got Beasley, wherever Paul George is. See. Again, I like the card, trust me. I do like the card, but I'm going to put him wherever PG is. We got Karl Malone. Karl Malone's B. Karl Malone is B. I really do like Karl Malone, but I don't quite put him in A tier. His release is pretty good. He's like better Sigs, but he's only like a 6'9" Kristaps. He can tween. He's got to go behind the back. He's like a worse Xavier McDaniel, in my opinion. Like he's like a worse, just a slightly worse McDaniel, but a very solid card. Again, just like Steve. Well, again with Karl Malone, not a fan of what he did off the court, but in game he's pretty good. Then now we're on to our just the token awards. Then we got Bol Bol. He's A. He's similar, but not the same as Porzingis. They have the exact same release. I think defense wise, Kristaps is that little bit longer, so he'll get in passing lanes that bit better. However, Bol's better on ball, moves faster laterally. Shooting wise, are the exact same. Dribbling in the half court, Porzingis is better. In the full court, Bol's better because he's got the Pro 6 behind the back. So I think it's honestly personal preference who you prefer. So I can't really put one of them a tier higher than the other. But if you want to move both of them up to S tier, that's fine. I'm not going to complain there. For me, like, if I was running my perfect lineup, I would realistically have, say, like probably LaMelo at the 1. And then I'd have KP at the 2, Bol the 3, Kareem at the 4, and like Yao or something at the 5. Like that would be like my personal lineup of choice. And we got Mo Bamba. Oh, he's B. He's a better Jack Sigma. You could definitely make an argument for Mo Bamba in A tier, but I just think we've got too many bigs in the top 2 tiers. I get it, we don't have too many centers in B tier, or in A tier, sorry, but we've got like 5 in this tier. So we got 7 centers in the top 2 tiers. He's a little bit below, but Bamba's really good. Don't get me wrong. He's really good. Then we got Richard Jefferson. I have not used this guy, but saying that, I have tried out his dribbling and his release, because on PC, you can't play online with it, but there's a way basically of putting any card into your game for shoot around, which is a lot easier than going into rosters and stuff. So I have shot around with him, and that release is not good. He's F. He's not good. And we got John Collins. John Collins is He's D. But he is Zion Williamson, but taller, but has a worse position. I mean, like, they're basically the same SIGs. They both have... Collins has way better tendencies. They're literally the exact same jump shot, but Collins is right-handed, Zion's left-handed. Like, they're almost clones of each other. It's hilarious how similar they are. Except, I would definitely take the point guard over power forward / center. And at the same time, I don't think he's quite bad at the F, so I'm going to put him D. Then we got Jaren Jackson Jr. He's worse Eddie Curry. I do think he's better than Bo. I'm going to say Bamba. Not better than Bo. Yeah, give me A. Give me A for him. He's low tier A. Whereas Eddie and Wilt, you can make the argument for going up. You can make an argument for him going down to B. Actually, to flesh out B tier, I might put him down there. But he's top of B. He's way better than AD. I'm saying this right now. He's way better than Anthony Davis. He's way better than Joel Embiid. Then we have got Nick Batum. So Batum again is B. Batum's better than Wiggins. Like, you can make an argument Batum's A tier. I'm telling you right now, you can make that argument. Just like you can make the argument with Jaren Jackson Jr., but just kind of flesh out the list, I'm going to put him in B. Batum is on a similar level to like a Siakam. He's probably not as good as AK. Probably not as good as McDaniel, but it's close. You can make... If I put these two guys in here, I wouldn't feel any worse about it. It's just there's just not enough cards in this B tier. I can move around. I don't want to move anyone down from A. I really don't, because I do think that all these cards belong as a high tier players in this game. There's just so many great cards that this just happens to be the tier. And like, I think a lot of this tier, you could argue, should either be one up or one down. And I don't think you can really argue, like, it seems like this is the cutoff point. Like, these guys are the real top tier players. These guys are the kind of in between that, like, you still have a great chance of winning if you use these guys, but you probably should just get someone in these higher lists. And these guys right here are the still usable, but they're usable, but you can get better. And then there is the worthless tier. Anything above worthless you can use in game and be fine, but there are better alternatives. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. This is the entire tier list, lads. Thank you guys for watching. This is going to be the last time we ever do one of these for Galaxy Opals. It'll be a while. It'll be, realistically, we won't have one of these tier lists until probably April or May next year. So it'll be probably 8 months. So yeah, it is what it is. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
I think you only love me cause I'm poppin'. This a layup, this a rebound, then it's robbing. Tyson with the fade, not the hair, my hands rocking. When I link with ball point, you know it's not.